So there's another idea that is not thought through, admittedly, but on the surface, attractive. I like it. We don't do just global politics.
No, we're broad thinkers.
But it was also in the early 80s that I was studying in Mannheim, and I was working in this pub, and somebody came and said, there's going to be a rally in part of the city, and they're trying to start up this new party, and you might be interested to go. And I was interested in politics, so I went. It was a small rally. There couldn't have been more than 100 people there in total. And it was Petra Kelly who was there trying to drum up support for the Greens. It was also the beginning of the Greens, as they hadn't yet made the 5% to get into the parliament. So it was still very much of a beginning organization. She was a very incendiary speaker.
It was the movement stage of the Greens, when they were primarily a social movement.
That's right, and there's strong emphasis that it's neither left nor right, but ahead. Right, that they were breaking with the traditional party politics to be this green thinking. She wasn't yet together with Get Bastian, the NATO general,
who also was a Green,
who became Green, and when he connected with her, hooked up with her because they were a couple. And he's also the one who murdered her and then shot himself in the head. So it was a murder-suicide. Unless you believe the conspiracy theorists who believe that they were both murdered by
by outside
secret
agents.
Police, or that was in the early 90s. But I mean, I think back to that moment, where that small crowd and Petra Kelly, and a lot of us being intrigued by this, and it's now. I mean, the wall has fallen. You have that. You also have the Greens, who've now been part of a governing coalition. Joachim Fischer, who's the foreign minister, and ardent supporters of the Afghanistan intervention. I mean, he also makes me wonder, what those. I wonder what those East Germans that I met are thinking now about their world, and I wonder what Petra Kelly would think now if she saw her party, what it's become.
Well, many of the people that were more radical-minded and against becoming a party and buying into all of the constraints that come with that just left.
The fundies, the fundamentalists, they were called.
And the price has been, in one sense, the price has been high. In another sense, I don't think there's any other country where a Green Party has made it this far and made it to power and has had effects, environmentally speaking.
Closing nuclear power plants,
the
big subsidization of solar panels and wind energy and whatnot. Germany is pretty much on the forefront.
Right. By the same token, it has to be recognized that when they were part of the governing coalition together with the Social Democrats earlier in the decade, they actually, with the Social Democrats, masterminded neoliberal reforms in Germany, which made things tougher on the unemployed, and basically bought into that ideology, also rhetorically and so on. And when I was in Berlin recently at a discussion at the Free University about what is center-left today, one participant made a joke and said that the left is very divided in Germany nowadays, and also you think, it must be divided between the Social Democrats and this new left party. But actually, the division was between this left party and the Christian Democrats, who are now in power, who have actually maintained a more social, less neoliberal policy approach,
Yeah.
and still do, although now they're in coalition with the
Free Democrats.
small Free Democratic Party,
Yeah.
which does have its own neoliberal agenda as well.
I guess the thing I take from it is if you look at the history of the Green Party in Germany, there's no reason they couldn't enter a coalition with the Conservatives, except that they might be too far right. I mean, the Greens. And then that also then gives you some sense of their potential here. I mean, there seems to be, I encountered among some students sometimes, the sense that the Greens are inherently progressive. And the Green Party of Canada could easily be in a coalition with Stephen Harper. If you look at most of their policies, they're neoliberal. Elizabeth May used to be in the Tory party, so it gives you another sense of what the Greens are in now at least.
Yeah.
Whatever Peter Kelly may have had in mind, it's basically a neoliberal party that's able to govern neoliberal coalitions there and here.
Yeah, I think ideologically they have very much become diffuse as a result of becoming a governing party potentially. And actually what has just happened in one of the Länder of Germany, Saarbrücken, the Greens have entered in a coalition with the Christian Democrats
really?
and
So
the
it's
Free
that-
Democrats.
Oh really? A three-way?
Yeah, and it's called, because of the party colors that they have, it's called the Jamaica Coalition.
Yes.
The Greens, the yellow for the Liberals, and blue, I guess, for the Christian Democrats. It should be black, really. Must be black.
Well, Germany is often referred to as the second Jamaica.
Yeah, isn't that true?
Maybe not. Maybe I've confused it with something else. Something
You
else.
mean because there's a lot of hash smoking going on in Germany?
Just the joie de vivre that you find among the Germans is very reminiscent of the Jamaicans. The music, I mean, if you slow down Papa music from Bavaria, it sounds just like reggae. It's got the stress is on the second, on the backbeat. And I think there's probably a lot of
more in common than it's true.
yeah.